Stress and burnout are obviously a huge problem for anybody, individual or for the companies they work for. Stress is well known to damage productivity, it changes behaviours, it damages relationships. We all know this. And most people can tell when they're stressed, and we can tell when people we know reasonably well are stressed as well, because we see their behaviour changes. But in this short video, I want to talk about not those normal sort of symptoms, but something that is very damaging for business. And it's a hidden symptom, but it's very common. It's part of how our brain works. And I just want to take it through with you, because if you're leading a managing company or you are looking at your own performance and seeing that you're stressed, it's the one that trips people up without realizing it. And it makes us think we're in control, but actually we get more and more stressed. And that obviously leads to this huge phenomenon of burnout. So this is what I want to take you through. And the amount of stress that we're going through at the moment is huge. We all know this. COVID and the pandemic has probably increased stress levels more than anything else around the world for pretty much everybody. The amount of unpredictability, the constant change, and the uncertainty is huge. Well, they're huge contributors to stress and then burnout. And in the UK, well, you just have to look at the internet. You'll see the numbers. The numbers of people who state that they're stressed is rising. And I think there's a UK one from the Mental Health Foundation that said 74% of UK adults said they felt so stressed they were unable to cope and felt absolutely overwhelmed. So this is the same around the world, I suspect. But what I want to talk to you about is a phenomenon that is, as I say, not that well understood, and it's hidden, really. We don't realise it's happening. And that is the phenomenon of we lose our ability to think creatively. Now, if you think, hang on a second, I'm not a creative person. I don't do art. I don't do, creative things. I'm a systems person. I'm not creative. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ability to think and create solutions, come up with ideas, basically. And Steve Jobs, one of my favourite quotes with him, creativity comes from spontaneous meetings and random discussions. So it's the ability to connect with people, to have these discussions, and now a lot of remote working and a lot of disconnect with people is happening, and it has happened. But it's also to be in a mindset, in a way of thinking, where you can be relaxed enough just to kick ideas around. Creativity comes from 2 + 2 = 7. And that's where we become, that's where we have the ability to come up with ideas that we wouldn't have thought of before, because we have the time and the space and the mental capacity to play with ideas, see things differently, explore. And this is how you actually gain control and keep control of companies, projects, organizations, everything, because there's two forms of control. There's the perception of control and real control. And the perception of control is when we're trying to keep control of our emotions. We're trying to hang it all together, usually trying to control our fear and our stress levels by doing things that just, I feel I'm okay. That's solved. Okay, we're coping. That is the perception of control. That's when we're just trying to make ourselves feel everything's okay. So this is because when we are stressed, or when we're fearful, or when there are things going wrong, we want to get to a level of certainty. So our brain is biased to make us try and feel everything's okay. Real control, though, in the real world, comes from when we can come up with different ideas, different processes, different solutions, different options, and then say which is the best one, and be able to sit back and evaluate them and say, actually, I think it's number 3, the third option. Let's go with that one. And stress stops that function from happening. In our brain, when we get stressed, the ability to see options disappears. And this is why leaders, especially in things like the army or in leadership positions, or people who work in high stress environments, are trained to be able to think and notice everything that's going around and what's going on, and be able to think and see options without getting overwhelmed by the situation they're in. And when you have a high level of people who are stressed, which we do have at the moment, massively so, the ability to step back and think, how can we do this better? What's the better option? So what we tend to do when we're stressed is knee-jerk into a fast solution, which may not be the best one, and we regret it later. So that's very expensive and dangerous for businesses. And this is when people, and I was speaking to someone recently, they felt so stressed about a particular situation, all they wanted to do was resign and hide and step down into a lower job where they felt less pressured. So what we do is we tend to make bad decisions when we're stressed, because we're only working on how can I just solve this immediate problem, rather than how can I follow a plan to solve problems, yes, but hit long-term goals. So this is what happens when we're stressed. So when we're working with our leadership clients and teaching about leadership and management and helping them do that and helping them help that with their clients, one of the things they say is, but my team is stressed, I'm stressed. So while we're helping them be better leaders and managers, we have to overcome this thing about stress. So this is one of the things we do. We provide a plug and play program which you can purchase for yourself or your company. It's called the Stress Out program. It doesn't require any tuition from trainers. You can listen to it and watch it whenever you like. But it explains why we create excessive stress and how to handle stress in an environment which perhaps you're not in control of, but how to maintain real control, how to deal with overwhelm, deal with burnout. And when you are back in control of your stress levels, then you can start being creative. Then you can start thinking in a higher level of thinking to make better decisions. And obviously the whole point of that is you create better results. So there'll be a link to the Stress Out program here. We keep the price very, very, very minimal because it's something that a lot of people need. It's easy to access, and instantly you'll understand what it takes for you to be able to dial back your stress levels, come out of burnout, because so many people have talked to me about that. They just felt, I can't cope anymore. I'm overwhelmed. And overwhelmed people who don't feel they're coping are not, it's not good for them, obviously, but it's also not good for the business. So if you know you have a stress problem with your business, perhaps it's for yourself, or you think, how can I help my team? Please get in touch. There's a direct link. You can purchase it directly, or get in touch if you want to provide this for your company. So stress is a results killer, but the way it kills results is because, to finish this off, to remind you, we lose our ability to think at a higher level or make higher level good decisions. And to get that back is one of the first things you want to do. And I don't think we're going to be coming out of this high stress situation with COVID anytime soon. So I think it's really important, if you want a high performing team, you need to help them, show them that they can actually understand and manage their stress. So they enjoy coming to work and they're actually obviously just more productive. So I hope this has been useful to you. There's the links around this wherever you're watching this to be able to access the Stress Out program directly, or if you want to buy it as a batch for several people in your team, then get in touch and we can organise that. Thank you for your time. Stress, you can deal with stress. It doesn't have to overwhelm you, I promise you.